Today we are going to be see multi-dimensional array. So I have created a class. I'm creating a class. So here I'm creating a main method. So as we were working with a single dimensional array, in the sense it's like square brackets and what variable name we have given this number, we used to store the one row of values. It's like single dimensional array. If you want to print this any value, what you are giving it, and you are giving this index of number. This is the index of 2. The index starts from the 0, 0, 1, 2. What if you have multiple values? For example, you have a of data into this table row. So in this you have values like 10, 30. It's whatever values you have here, you will work on this. And if you want to store these values, this is a table, right? And in the table, you can find this, this area is a rows, and this area is column. This, uh, this whatever rows you have, how many rows you have? One, two, three rows, and you have column one, two, three. So when it comes to this, array, you have a rows and columns, this multiple set of data. And if you want to store this multiple set of data and rows and columns, you need to use a multi-dimensional array, whether it may be a two-dimensional or three-dimensional, four-dimensional. We'll see into this two-dimensional today, and you can practice it, and you can look into this other dimensionals, whatever you have. And if you have any questions, I'll help you out to be understand it. So here you have a rows. How many rows you have? Total three rows. Three rows. How many columns you have? So three columns. Three columns, right? So in this way itself, like we are going to be look into this and how to store this multidimensional or table of data into our multidimensional array, print them into this using this. So here, say int, when you are assigning multidimensional data into this any data type, you need to give this row and column. Is first one is going to be represent row. Two square brackets is required, and here I'll say grid. In this, whatever rows and columns you want to provide it, you can provide inside this. So you can understand here, right? And this will be multi two square bracket, and whatever reference variable name you are giving it, reference variable. The flower brackets, you need to provide your rows and columns. And a row inside this, you can provide 10, 30, 6 here. I'll provide 50. Also, it's not necessary to give the same rows and columns in the same multiple array. It may be having this some row will have this two columns only or one column only. It's also possible. So each row here in this when you are designing it, this comma is mandatory, and semicolon to the starting of this multidimensional array of this flower bracket, end of this particular. So here, the same way you can create this a string array as well. I have provided these values into this. Provide any number of columns. So here it's like this is a multi-dimensional array. If you want to fetch this any value, or if you want to locate any value inside this a box at this value, take this value. If you want to fetch this value, what is the index of this value? And you can count this is like second row. This is an into the second row, column 2. You can see there is a two square brackets, right? in this 2 square bracket, you can give this row number 2 and column number 2. This is an represents this particular location. What if I want to find out this value? What is the location of this value? So as I said, like first is going to be represent row and second one is going to be what is the row here? It is 1, first row, and third column. Third column. What if you want to be locate this value? It will be representing this location. So what if you have you want to find out this? This one is third row and first column, right? So array starts from the index 0. Index 0. Let's see whatever I have given you, the same is going to be work or not here. I'm finding out this value, and this value is first row, third column, right? Third column. If I'll say grid, what if it is going to be print this? What value is going to be print? It will throw an first array start from the index 0, 0 row. It's a 0 in the sense yes 0 row. Column is 2. So see here, I'll keep you got this 40 value, right? The same way, you can tell me now what is the location of this particular value now. It's a 0 and second column, second index. This one is first 1 and 1, and this one is 2 and 0. So array starts from the 0 indexing. So you can print using this index from starting from the 0 and 2 and whatever it is value. So you got this point, right? And now how this multi-dimensional array and what is the location, how we can get this location of that particular example. Take this to print it 30, and what will be the of that? It's a 0 and 1, first row and first column, first row, first column. You want to print this value same way, 0, 1, 2, 3, third row and 0 index. Third row. So you got right, and how these locations we need to be get into this from multiple location, multi-dimensional array. So here, this way we will find out this location of this particular values. And in the case of Excel also, you can see this is an Excel, right? All Excel sheets will be into this two-dimensional array. It's like these are all the rows and these are all the columns. These are all the columns. If you wanted to be get this particular location of this cell value, it's a seventh row in the sense sixth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 1 is 5. So always array index will be total number of rows or columns, and minus 1 is the cell value. 7 minus 1, 6, and 6 minus 1 is 5, and 6 comma 5. I hope everyone able to understand how we can get these values of location into this any dimensional array. All right. So what if I want to print every value and in one time? So to iterate single dimensional, what was the loop we were doing? We are using this for loop. The two semicolons, and initialization is int I is equal to 0, I less than I less than number dot length, whatever length it is, I plus plus we are doing it. So this is a traditional way we are doing it. The number dot length, whatever number array length we are finding it out, and 0 1 2 it will be by indexing 0 and 1 2, and by number we can see it's a 3, and we are checking this condition I value until it gets to this 2, it is going to be true or value. Then we are increasing into here and printing out here is a number, whatever index it comes, and it will print you all the values. This we have seen yesterday. Today let's see how to work with this multi-dimensional and how to print all the multi-dimensional values. So the same way we can use this for loop for, right, and here int is equal to 0 less than grid. It is your array, right? And I plus plus. Here, what you'll do, sys out grid what and give this I. Let's try to print this and everything and what it is. It's a single dimensional array. It printed three values and 20, 30, and 20, 30. And second dimension, second one is a two-dimensional array. It's not printed. It is printed this location of the particular four rows we have. Four rows, some value is printed. So what if you want to be print the values? The values. You need to iterate first the rows and the columns. In the sense, you need to use another for loop inside the for. So let's use this another for loop. Again, two semicolons and int. I we already declared, and we'll use this j is equal to 0 and j. So I is reading this rows, and the row we have inside the row we have to count the columns dot length and j plus plus. So here I'll say grid dimensional, right, and we need to specify row and column indexing. So I have given this grid. I represents the row and j represents the column. Let's print it now. Here every value is printing 10, 20 and 40. So 10, 20, 40 is the first row. The second row is 20, 30, 60. Third row is 50, 60, 80, and fourth row is 30 and 40. So to remove this value, I'm putting in this comment. We got the values here. To have this very clear understanding, I'm changing this I to this row. The variable name, I changed it to row. This will be column. We need to provide the row and column here. Providing the row E. Right. So your values are printing here. This comment. All the values is getting printed, but you are not understanding which value into this, which row and which column. For keeping your values same as a row and column, instead of using this println, use this print, and it will print into this. If println will be in this next line every time. So I don't want to print in next line. I want to print in same line. See, this time we got every value into the same line. So I also don't want to be have in this same line. I want to see this same as a table like row and column. So for this, what it is doing, first one is finding out this number of rows, and based on this rows it is going to be loop. This second for loop is columns, right? And let's do the debugging. I'll tell you how to do this debugging later point. Debug as Java application, run as, see, now you have this number 7 and grid. Let's see what is the row here. Row 0, row 0. It's found this row 0. And what is the columns? We have 3 columns, right? Let's see that also. And column 0. And it is looping this particular column. First row, that is row 0. And it is printed this 0 column. And again it went to this second column, that is index 1 column, printed 20. And then it is moving into this third column, that is 40. And then it moves out from this particular for loop and comes with the second row. Let's see, it came to the second row and it is going to be read this particular second row value. So what I have done, I have given this print into this for loop, and I'll give this simple sys outside, and I'll not give any value. I'll not give any value here because the first row it is completed, and I don't want to print this second row in the same line. And this print ln will be taking into this next line. Let's execute this. See, your values is printing into this rows and columns, but you don't find this space. You don't find the space. So what you can do is, I think it is, there is a, let's see, I want to provide the tab. After each value, I want to provide the tab. See, will you got this? Now, this is the first row of first value, first row of second value, first row of third value. It's the same way you are able to print this, your array values. It's a kind of the same two-dimensional array here as well. Guys, do you have any questions here? I'll explain this for loop. It's not that easy to be understand it, and it is a little bit strong area we need, a strong understanding we need here. And single dimensional array, we were doing it by using this for loop. For this, there will be a 2 semicolons, bracket. Here we were doing this int is equal to 0 less than whatever array you have, the grade dot length. We were increasing. So we used to print it. So it is going to be, it was having only single row and it was printing our values. So here we have multiple rows and multiple columns. So for that, again, I want another loop to reading the columns as well. So for understanding, I'm replacing this row, the variable name of I, replacing with the row to understanding the. So it is looping the row. We want to loop this columns as well, but I'm using the for loop. 2 semicolons, one bracket and close bracket. In this, what I'm doing, int column starts from the 0, the loop count column less than whatever array is there, grid, right? Columns comes inside the row. So you need to provide and which row you need to be loop it, the columns, and a row length. If it is into this first row, then what is the number of columns? Second row, what is the number of columns? Third row, what is the number of columns? fourth row. So what is the number of columns? So it is going to be fetch it the row of column length, particular row of column length. I'm increasing column. So then I'm printing it. Yes. So here I'm providing the reference variable of this particular array and the row and column. First square bracket is row, second square bracket is column. And then what I was doing, I don't want to print in this next line every value. I wanted to print in the same line. And as well, after printing this value, I want to give a tab slash t is that. And also, this once the column is printed entirely, I want to go into this next line. So for that, I'm putting this empty system.out.println. We are using inner for loop to print all the table values or multi-dimensional. So this is the way we can work with the particular string as well. If you want to uh, loop your string array as well, you can use the same for loop. We'll keep this into comment. But here, I'm changing this particular array name. Apart from this, everything is same. And running it, it's out of boundary exception. Index out of boundary exception. Not for this. Run it once again. In this column dot. So I'm creating a new package called as object, as an object. Use this classes, okay, and creating a class inside the class and object as understanding. Okay, so here I'm creating a main method. What is class? Class is a template. Class is a template where you can store your state and behavior or state and object or anything you can store it. It is a blueprint, and without class in this Java, you cannot write single line of code as well. So class is everything into this Java. Based on the classes only it will work. So it says like class is your blueprint for your any program or anything you can write it here. So class can have a data and methods. So one file, any file you create into this dot with a dot Java, you can have only one public class. Only one public class. If you try to give the second public class, let's see what it will give. Public and class. It is throwing an error. What is this error? Syntax error on token class. That whatever here, public type test must be defined in the own file. If you want to create public class, you need to create your own file, or otherwise remove your public. If you want to create any public class, you should have operate, and the file name should be in the name of public class. In the name of public class. I'll change this value, refactor it, rename it. Okay. The name is changed to this public class. Renamed it this class name as well. what I can do, I'll say rename again, refactor and rename. Just this change. If you want to be changed here directly, uh, test, it is it's a own file. It is saying create a file. So whatever public class you are giving it, that should be the file name also the same with the class name. Same with the class name. So now you can see there is a class test which is not public. There is another public class is test. Do everything here. Create class name as application. Another one is every time whenever you will create a class, make sure you are giving first letter as a capital. First letter should be capital. This is the naming convention. The naming convention. If you are giving the small letter also, it's fine. It will not throw any error. But the naming convention start from the capital letter. If you are using second word into this class name, you should use this second word. First letter should be capital always. So this is the naming convention. So I have a application class. Also, I have a class person. So what we can store into this class? What we can store in this class? Class can store data or methods. So what kind of data we can store? The person data. Person data. What data will have? The person can have a name. Name will be this characters, group of characters. So I'm declaring as a string name, and the age will be in a numbers. So I'm declaring as int. So the person can have a data of name or age, Aadhaar card, voter ID card, driving license, or PAN card, or bank account number. These are all the person data. Person data. What person can do? Person can speak out or eat, walk, right? And whatever behavior he will have it, all are kind of methods. Methods. Person can. So class can have a variables and methods. So let's see this class, the person is having the data and variable, the methods, right? And class also can create a objects. So let's say here we need to be give a capital letter and make sure to give this capital letter while starting your class name. Second word letter also should be capital. So here you can see this, the data types we have given with a small letter. Data types always or variable names always will start with a small letter. Second letter will be or second word will be capital letter. So what I'll do, I'll create a object. Object is equal to new person. So this person class, by using this person class, I have created a object person one by using the new keyword, and I have given the memory for this particular person one, and person one name as the person one dot is equal to something I can give. So class can create a object. Class can create a object, and by using that particular object, you can access this particular variables and methods. By using the object, you can access that particular variables and methods. So I use this person one object dot name and age. Also, I can use same variable this object to access the methods as well. I can do this here. If I'll print this, I'll print this person one name I assigned, and person two age, person one age also I assigned it. Take this one is, will print this name as Ramu and age as 20. Ramu 20, and speak this hello. Same way, I also create another object to new person. Person in a one class, human class or person class can have a multiple people, right? Multiple people, right? So this is one person, this is second person. Person 2 A is equal to, we can give this name because he is not the same person, right? And the person 2 age is, provide this 30. Person speak in same way, right? There won't be a specific things, and he can speak in, human will speak in, this language is different, maybe different, but this speaking is same way. And person 2, let's print this. The first person 1 is Ramu, 20 years, and hello. Asu, 30 years, and hello. So class is, can have a data and methods. You can create a object and you can use it, this data and methods into this with the object. And also objects, also multiple objects you can create it. You can create. So class, human is a class, and your animal is a cat. Sorry, one class. Your computer also is a one class. It's like electronic class or something. You can keep it. So the same actions, same data, or same behavior will have it, that we can keep into this one class, and we can create your objects to have this multiple things or multiple objects into that. An entire Java will work on based on this object oriented. So it will have the class, and class can create a multiple objects, and multiple objects will have a different characteristics, like the name or age or the behavior, whatever methods will have it. So here I'll say uh, hello, and my name. You can keep it just like simply here itself. Name keyword, it comes. Okay. And is concatenate this is. You can run it now. The hello. Okay. Hello, my name is Ramu and age is 20. The second one is hello, my name is Vasu and age is 30. By using this, two-person object with a speak a method, but the second person two is assigned the name and age. The same way, we are using this second object dot speak and first object dot speak. When you are using this first object, it is giving this different name, and the second object it is giving the different name. How to create a class, and we know how to create a variables, right? And also we today we seen this how to create a class here and create a object here. For example, we have the same one file. In a one file, we had two classes. Let's say in a one package there is two classes. The same way you can create a person class in outside the file. So what I'll do, I'll keep this. So I'll comment this class here, right? Person class is here. So I created an object for this here. Let's execute this now. It's working fine. So you don't need to be worried whether it is your class inside the same file or outside the file in the same package, right? Just understand today's session is like how to create a class and how to create a object for that particular class and how to access this data and methods into this by using that particular object created by a class.